One day I'm gonna be everything I wanna be. I don't let it get the most of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be everything I'm gonna be. My future right in front of me. One day I'm gonna be free. I wanna be free. So let me be free. From the depths of darkness, a voice emerges. A host with a fire burning in his soul. With a heart of steel and a spirit unbroken. He rides on two wheels ready to claim his throne. Amidst the chaos and the thunderous roar, insane wheels rise as a force to be reckoned with. Fueled by the power that only metal can bestow. He takes his stand, refusing to submit. Insane wheels hear his battle cry. A metal mayhem that will never die. With vengeance roaring, he paves his way. A legend in the making, day by day.
Wow, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We have a humongous morning ahead of us. Let's get it. All right, so like I said, we got a big morning. We got Trump says deal is soon. We're going to get into that very soon, obviously, as well. Iran strikes continue, as well as troops have been rescued. We're going to talk about that rescue mission as well. Real quick, I'd like to give a big shout out to Papa Penguin, not only gifting out one or sending in 5 spot, but he sends in 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yo, what? Already hitting 5 different of the donation goals. Wow, Papa D, I can't thank you enough for that, man. Seriously, that definitely goes a long way, and it adds up quickly, as you guys obviously could imagine. So anyways, let's go ahead and give you guys a chronological breakdown of what we're going to be discussing first here this morning, and then we'll get into all of you guys in the chat. We got Palisades update over there, the fires in California. Trial set for or starts for man accused of sparking deadly fire in Los Angeles. So this is obviously coming out now. I think this is into regards of this last year when we saw these, basically the Palisades fires, where I called it a land grab. Now, yes, there are multiple times that that California in particular is under fire. I mean, especially in Southern California, where you got the dry Santa Ana winds, all of that stuff. I mean, I grew up around it. It's just nonstop fire. But in this particular case, I do believe it was a legitimate land grab. Anyways, that's my personal thing. Obviously, we're going to go based off of the facts here. And then we have something interesting that came out around 10 o'clock last night, okay, for me. There's something called the screw worm. I don't know. Screw worm. Yes, you guys heard it correctly. Flesh-eating cattle parasite spreads beyond Texas. The New World screw worm has been detected in central Texas. Officials say they have confirmed a case in a goat in Gillespie County. The Gillespie County case marks the 4th in Texas, says the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The case was confirmed around noon on June 8th, which was yesterday. The USDA says it and Texas and Animal Health Commission are working to get additional details about the case and establish surveillance and testing in the area. The 3 other Texas cases were in cattle in Zavala County, southwest of San Antonio, and La Salle, I don't know how to say that county, northeast of Laredo. Okay, so that's very interesting. I hadn't heard that until we actually saw that in the main headlines there. Anyways, another thing that happened last night was when Trump finished up with that Knicks game. Once he departs New York City after attending the Spurs and the Knicks game last night, Trump does take some questions on Iran ceasefire after NBA Finals in New York. Now, he's going to be over there on the tarmac, so it's going to be extremely loud every single time. We may not actually listen to the entire thing because a lot of those on the tarmac interviews are insufferable to listen to. I'm an audio nut, and I definitely know that, you know, majority of people listen to this show. They don't watch it necessarily. So audio is, it takes precedence. Anyways, we got just 3 hours ago, U.S. Army helicopter goes down near the Strait of Hormuz, and 2 troops were rescued on this, by the way. 2 U.S. crew members have been rescued after their helicopter went down near the coast of Oman while patrolling the regional waters near the Strait of Hormuz. U.S. Central Command says the soldiers were safely rescued within approximately 2 hours and are in stable condition. The cause of the incident is under investigation. And no one truly, as far as the reports go, I looked into it. I can't find anything else other than just what they said right there. So I would definitely like to know what happened with their helicopter, obviously. Okay, so this just coming in as well 3 hours ago. Crews rescued after Apache helicopter goes down in near Hormuz, and it looks like that's where Trey Yanks is going to be reporting over there on the Fox News side. We have that for you guys as well. 2 hours ago as well, Israel hammers Hezbollah targets. Top Iran official cast doubt on U.S. deal. Now, I asked you guys a very special question before we get into the rest of this. I asked you guys if you guys think that Trump can basically still garnish this peace deal between Iran and obviously Israel as well. Make sure you guys answer that in the chat there. All right, and then the other thing that we're going to be discussing as well is this saying from Iran. Iranian state television says 2 members of its air defense unit were killed in the Israeli attacks on Monday, which was obviously yesterday. It says 2 soldiers killed in an Israeli strike. Trump says deal in 1 to 3 days. Wrong button.
Stop the cap.
That's the one I was looking for. Then Trump then doubles down just an hour ago, or maybe it's just another report of what Trump had said. Iran deal expected in 2 or 3 days. Again,
stop the cap.
Anyways, by the way, I would absolutely hope for that. I absolutely don't think that, oh, he's just being, he doesn't want peace. No, I absolutely do. I absolutely want this to happen. Now, I'm not talking about what it ought to be. I'm talking about what is. And as somebody that sits in this very seat, I've watched a lot of the rhetoric that goes on both sides of the equation. And I can tell you that we're not very close to a deal. I don't think we're anywhere close to a 1 to 3 day possibility of a deal. But I hope that does happen. Stabbing victim describes, quote, chaos in Penn Station. This just coming out like 50 minutes ago. Henry, which I can't even say, Obadiah, criticizes liberal soft on crime policies after being stabbed in Penn Station by a career criminal. What? Typical bullshit. You know what I mean? All right, real quick. We got Beaker coming in with the 5 spot as well, saying he's gotten 6 out of the 10 of the donation goal. Thank you very much, sir. And then Papa D is actually dropping a humongous bomb here. Yo, Papa D with the $25 saying goal? What goal? Yeah, let's just crush it. You know what I mean? Thank you very much for that, you guys. Definitely goes a long way. Thank you guys for the love and support that you guys show to the show. I'm very honored with that. Anyways, real quick, let's go ahead and say hi to all of you guys. We got Motobomb Virginia as well as Carney Vanguard. Good morning to you, gentlemen. We got Easy Frank as well as Pops. Good morning. We got Naomi in the building as well, and Papa D, of course, as we know. Pop's giving us great updates here. Mountain Woman is coming home next Wednesday. Yo, that is awesome. Let's get it. That makes me so freaking happy right there. That's great shit. Easy Frank in the building as well as PJ, my man. Good morning to you guys. Rolling our way down as fast as humanly possible. I promise I am trying. There's all you legends in here, and I try not to skip over you guys if I can help it. We got Rapid of Chaos as well as Steve Posey. Good morning to you guys as well. We got No Grow as well. We got Steve Easy as well. Shout out to my man. We got Brother So Loud from the Boondocks in North Carolina. Shout out to you. Scrolling our way down as fast as I can, man. I'm sorry. There's a lot of people in here. We got Mr. Jack Talcott. Yes, sir. Blessings to you, kind sir. Forgot to hit play on the video. Oh, shit. We got Panelverse as well as Texas Gidget. Good morning to you guys. We got Brother Beezer as well. Shout out to you. Good morning. Good morning. And Texas Gidget says, oh, yes, the screw worm is a problem. You see, I've never even heard about it yet. So it's very interesting to be watching right now. We got Chatting with Stacks as well. Good morning to you. We got Albany as well, or however you say your name. Great to see you. We got Super Luigi. Shout out to you, as well as Pablo, Brother Pablo. We got Chasing Ghosts. Good morning. And Sick Bastard. Also want to give a big special shout out to Motobomb Virginia and the Coffee Crew, Carney Vanguard, all you guys over there for rating us this morning. I'm very honored to be able to have your guys' support. So thank you guys for that.
Oh my God.
It definitely goes a long way. We got Rick as well. Good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning. I definitely know that we are. It's a little drier this morning, which is actually somewhat nice. It's been raining nonstop. So anyways, let's go ahead and get right into the madness. We're going to first start about this Palisades update. Now, regarding the Palisades fire that basically happened last year. Again, like I told you at the top of the hour here, I do believe that that was absolutely a land grab. Let me give you guys my simple reasonings of how I think about this. There's many fires that go on in California, especially in Southern California, with how dry it can get. And, you know, it gets very hot there, obviously. And so shit does combust. Shit does, you know, unfortunately go into flames. But this particular one in the Palisades fire, how easy would it be? Let's just take ourselves and think about this for a second. If I am a billionaire, multi-billionaire, and I want this land over here, how easy would it be for me as a multi-billionaire to have one of my cronies go out, get like some homeless man, and be like, here, I'll give you $5,000 if you're willing to go, you know, just light up a whole bunch of shit around here. And you do that with like 5 or 10 or 15 different homeless people or people down on their luck or whatever the case is, nut jobs, obviously. And then be able to take all this land that's right there on the water, basically, very, very, very expensive real estate. And for it to sweep up and take the neighborhood, especially in the areas, is definitely something that raises questions. So we have an update on all of this. Super late later now. We have trial starts for man accused of sparking deadly fire in Los Angeles. Now, I would actually assume that there wasn't just one. I would assume there was 2, 3, 4 of them, maybe. But nonetheless, we do have it. So let's go ahead and bring this up for you guys, and we'll quickly get into it. 3, 2, 1, bam. All right, here we go.
All right, welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I'm Andy Mack, turning our attention to Southern California as jury selection underway in the man accused of sparking the deadly Pacific Palisades fire. A live tweet here from our Fox 11 team as jury selection in downtown LA for the former Uber driver accused of setting a New Year's Day fire that prosecutors say eventually grew into the deadly Palisades fire. Let's be joined right now on the ground in Southern California by Christy Fajardo from Fox 11. What can you tell us about what to expect in this trial and how the community is reacting?
Well, shit, I'm sure the community over there is super amped up to get some answers.
Well, very mixed emotions here in the fire zone. In fact, as you said, jury selection is actually taking place in downtown Los Angeles, which is about a half-hour drive with no traffic.
Yeah, Beaker has definitely been around the block. He's been around here, around these parts for a very long time. We got Mama Iron Ranger, by the way. Good morning to you. Great to see you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Topless Taco Tuesday. I definitely know that we are.
From where we are, but prospective jurors will no doubt have seen the devastation here in the Palisades. And we did speak to one prospective juror after he was dismissed, and he told us that there's a pool of about 100 people and that they're not being told what the trial is about. No cameras.
Yeah, so I totally understand that, Beaker. You're on the other side. You're on the vertical. So it just is what it is, truth be told, with the angle that I have and the green screen setup. If you go over to the horizontal side, you're not going to see a half split of me. So the reason why it does that is because it just automatically does that. I can't reposition it. I'd have to sit more. And that's why I do try to sit more like this angle But it's super uncomfortable doing that. I have to lean like my whole body and shit like that. So I try to be cognizant of it, but it's kind of a rough fix until I get the proper lights and stuff.
Court in downtown LA as jury selection gets underway in the trial of 30-year-old Jonathan Rinderneck. 16 miles away in the Palisades fire zone, his alleged victims like Mitch Sachs
I did read this morning that the trial started.
still don't know.
Oh yeah, fuck. We did no calls to actions. I'll do it after this story.
When they will rebuild their home and say even a conviction
No, I
won't
missed
feel
him.
like justice.
That was me.
That you can't put back what's gone. I'm sure he's going to wind up with some form of a jail sentence, but you can't undo what's done. What's it going to make it better is when our town is back.
Federal prosecutors
What's up, Boomer? My man, good
are
morning.
expected to argue Rinderneck was motivated.
So look at this guy. Look at this guy. What do they call him? Renderneck?
What's it going to make it better is when our town is back.
Federal prosecutors are expected to argue Rinderneck was motivated
That is his name. Renderneck.
Emotional damage.
He looks like he suffers with emotional damage.
by a hatred of the rich and intentionally set a
A
fire
hatred of the rich? Yeah, he probably got paid by the rich.
on New Year's Day that smoldered for a week. Then, in hurricane-force winds, ballooned into this. The Palisades fire, which killed 12 people, destroyed thousands of homes, and uprooted Michelle Mansfield's life.
I'm not stuck in the depression loop or the fury loop.
She recently moved back to the Palisades, but to a different home.
We discovered, right? Jealousy about people that were doing better than him. I'm a retired school teacher. I raised my son.
So, Beaker, there's actually 2 live streams going on. If you go into the live tab on my YouTube channel, on Insane Wheels, you'll have the vertical live stream going on at the same time, as well as a horizontal. There's 2 different live streams.
As a single mom, I'm not somebody that's
right, Naomi.
rolling in wealth up here.
Rinderneck has pleaded not guilty, and his defense attorney has told the courts the charges are false and the indictment epically weak, saying there isn't one single shred of evidence. He
What? There's 0 evidence, the defense is saying.
intentionally set the fire.
And thank you,
Rinderneck
mods.
had lived in the
Appreciate
area.
you guys.
But with homes on lots and some blocks close to completion, many survivors say the trial won't be their focus. They'd rather set their attention on the community that is sprouting from the ruin.
Well, I think that is good, obviously, to be focusing on the community and rebuilding, but it is imperative that you guys get it correct in the justice side. You know, I don't think you should just totally disregard what's happening in court. I think that you guys should follow through with that, not just focus on picking up the pieces, of course. I mean, trust me, there's plenty of people that lived out there that no longer live there and or, you know, waiting for payments, insurance claims or insurance companies totally dropped the ball. They didn't pay a lot of fucking people. So a lot of people lost a lot of money. There's people living in hotels, motels, all this kind of shit because of a stupid fuck like this guy.
This human being needs
Renderneck, they call him.
Emotional damage. Stupid.
help, and he shouldn't be out there starting fires, but it's not going to make me feel any better about losing my home and
Right. I totally get that, but you have to keep people accountable, and then you have to be able to figure out why this fucking happened.
losing my photos and my journals, and I'd rather see positive energy going to helping us rebuild.
If convicted on all charges, Rinderneck could get up
What's up, Prez, my man?
to
Good morning.
45 years in prison. The trial is expected to last
45
11
years.
days.
Dude, I'm surprised it's actually not even just completely just life. I mean, you just ruined not only people's lives, but you also are implementing a type of fear into people, which it's kind of like when you go and do a terroristic act in, let's say, on a railway or something like that. Anything in the Department of Transportation, they're going to make sure that you get totally hemmed up on a legal aspect, that you are trying to scare the people. So now people are not wanting to get on public transportation, for instance, because every time I see there's something going on in public transportation, you got somebody that's fucking stabbing somebody. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's kind of the problem, you know? And so I think it would go and correlate to the exact same thing on this level, if not even higher.
Live in the Pacific Palisades area of Los
Virginia
Angeles. I'm
Chaos,
Christopher
good
Harlow.
morning.
Back to you.
All right, thank you. My one question I have to ask, because obviously you sit there and look behind you and it's hard to grapple with the damage that still is there. How slow of a process is it for LA residents, for people in Southern California that
Yeah, Papa D, we're trying our best to, we've done our absolute damnness to get the branding perfect for the show. And we actually have done that. We have successfully done that. Now the mission is to scale, right? And so that's what I'm doing right now, what I'm trying to do.
So much
Appreciate you, man.
Try to put their lives back together.
I got to reset my camera too. Let me do that.
Well, it depends. Some people have had an easier time with insurance and permits. Others have just been met with roadblock after roadblock. We spoke to one man today who told us that his house was half damaged, but he doesn't think he'll ever be able to live there again. And there are also people dealing with other types of damage. Maybe their house actually survived the fire, but then there is smoke damage. But you can see behind me, there's varying degrees of progress. Some homes look like they're pretty close to being complete. Others are sort of mid-process. And if we pan over here, you'll notice others haven't even started to rebuild at all.
Yeah, it's very difficult to see so much.
Miss Lotus, good morning to you, by the way. Great to see you in the chat. And let's see here. Let me see if I can get this stop sharing here, and we'll move on from that. Real quick, Beaker says, yeah, I have to look into green screen for sure. I love my KSD flag, but here's what I would do is get a green screen and then upload the image of KSD and do some sort of badass just image. See the image that I've got behind me right now? Like it's literally just an image, so you can create it any way that you want, and you could put KSD in there or whatever, and it would look great. Anyways, let's move on. First, what we didn't do is, like Naomi said, I totally skipped over the call to actions this morning. I was a little overzealous, as you guys may call it. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. Make sure you guys hit that like button, double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate it. And it's 100% free to do so. What else is free to do so is hitting that subscribe button. It's what we do Monday through Friday. And then, of course, we have members only on Saturday morning, man. Now, speaking of members, please consider becoming a member starting only at $2.99 a month. Making sure we're not breaking the bank out there with anybody, but check it out. This is what allows us to be on these airwaves as well as have these lights on. So thank you guys for becoming members and staying members. Little side note here, follow my Instagram at Ball Valve TV, or you can follow me where I've got a whole bunch of shit regarding the show, background of me, as well as politics, all that stuff. It's a great way to get a hold of me one-on-one. Make sure you guys follow me over there, as well as we have a Discord server for all of you legends where we continue the conversation. Video or the description is, or the link is in the description down below of all live videos that we do. And then last but not least, all super chats, super stickers, gifted memberships, and membership signups are, of course, all going to be presented live and shouted out onto the show. But if you guys would like to skip that YouTube 30% brutal cut that they take from your hard-earned cash, we have these platforms that are scrolling around the screen at any time. You can donate to those. And of course, I get 100% of those proceeds, and I'll read out loud whatever comes our way, just like a normal super chat. So we've got the email scanning. So I appreciate you guys. All right, let's go ahead and get into this next story here. We're going to be talking about this screw worm that is being spread across Texas. And they're actually saying beyond Texas, but it looks like from the reports, everything is within Texas. So I'm not really sure why they use the word beyond, but we're going to find out right now. We're going to get into it.
Welcome back in here to Live Now from Fox. I am Andy Mack. The New World screwworm is no longer confined to the state of Texas, as 3 new cases of the livestock killing pest have been confirmed, including one outside the main cluster of infections inside of the Lone Star State, raising concerns about its spread. For more on this, let's go out to our Fox 7 team, Rudy.
And thank you for that, Miss Lotus. I very much appreciate it. I put a lot of time and effort into this shit. I think that you guys see, but
on where we
stand. Means a lot.
The State Emergency Operations Center typically is ramped up to respond to major storms and wildfires. Monday, those working in the center, which is below DPS headquarters in Austin, were told their battle against the fly was escalating. Governor Greg Abbott on social media noting the level 2 activation. He also
yeah, PJ, I actually admitted yesterday. I don't know why I've been saying $3.99 forever. I've been jipping myself. Actually it's $2.99, and I admitted that I totally have been saying the wrong number. I don't even know how long I've been saying that shit the wrong way. Probably a long, super long time. But it's actually only $2.99, by the way. So
stated the promise that he made Friday after his initial briefing on the screwworm threat and state response.
We have, in the past, prevented as well as eradicated this pest, and we can do it again.
This cattle crisis in Texas can be traced back to the big sell-offs caused by the droughts of 2022 and
What's up, Tiffany? Hopefully you're enjoying your morning, as well as brother Lee Lance as well.
2011. Smaller herds in
Great
Texas
jacket.
increased
Shout
the
out.
need for livestock from Mexico. But in early 2025, as the screwworm problem was also growing in Central America and parts of Mexico, the Department of Agriculture ordered a ban on Mexican cattle imports. That ban was eventually lifted after the U.S. and Mexico increased border inspections. Around the same time, President
That's super interesting there, BZ Lotus. That's totally interesting.
Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, put a USDA office in Uvalde on a list for closure and also cut funding for a monitoring program in
What the
Mexico.
fuck is that?
Texans are paying
Is that the actual screwworm itself? Did you guys see that?
And also cut
Hold on. First they show a fly,
funding for a monitoring program.
then this thing. What the fuck is that? Yo, come on. You know what needs to happen to that?
In Mexico.
Texans are paying attention and they are very concerned.
Democrat gubernatorial candidate Gina Hinojosa at a campaign rally in Austin Monday was asked about the screwworm response. She restated her call made over the weekend for
You know what's funny about that, Virginia Chaos? Otherwise, I normally would have kind of just done that. But the thing is anytime that you change the prices on your membership program on YouTube, it basically kicks all the members off and then they have to all re-sign up. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's a super risk just for $1 more. I don't think is worth it at this point.
new legislative hearings.
We have questions about whether appropriate prevention and defense is available at the federal level after DOGE. So those are questions that need to be vetted in a public hearing, especially when people are concerned in the state. Texans want answers.
House Speaker Dustin Burrows, in response, noted several hearings have already been held, that the threat is already an interim charge, and more hearings will be held as necessary.
Having hearings certainly would not be counterproductive, and it can't hurt.
Political analyst Mark Jones is not surprised a fly has become a political issue.
This is a great position. You know,
What's up, Carrie, my man, as well? Good morning to you.
when you're an underfunded underdog candidate like Gina Hinojosa, you're always looking for issues where you can get free media coverage.
You know, I've never even heard of a screwworm, but Rabbit of Chaos, it definitely looks like a screwworm,
and make
right?
life difficult for your opponent.
Jesus.
Could this be a fishing expedition, considering the accusations that DOGE may have cut some fundings directly or indirectly related to the fly?
In the worst case scenario for Hinojosa, nothing occurs and she effectively moves on. The best case scenario, there's some fireworks between Republicans in this committee hearing, and Hinojosa can use that to
Thank you
bolster
for
her
that.
campaign.
I have been checking. Thank you for reminders and stuff. I need them. Trust me. We got Brother Bob up there from Canada, Biker News Canada. Great to see you in the chat, by the way. If you guys haven't gone over and subscribed to Brother Bob, make sure you guys do that, man.
All right, Rudy Koski there reporting, and plenty of political conversations to be had. And there's actually a rapid response account on social media about this cattle crisis revolving around the New World screwworm. And we had a press conference earlier on today, Ag Secretary Brooke Rowland saying that, quote, these developments obviously represent a serious threat to our livestock and wildlife, but they haven't caught.
Yeah, this is not looking good. And I'm really hoping that they can get this under control quickly, because beef is already way too expensive in America.
Us off guard. Obviously, screwworm is actually
This will probably give them another reason to just fucking, gouge the price.
Larva that eats living flesh instead of dead material. The flies lay their eggs in open wounds of animals like cattle, but wildlife and pets occasionally can be
Exactly, Beaker.
invested. Let's be joined right now here on Live Now from Fox, co-founder and reporter.
No, we don't need someone else coming in here and telling us about it. We already know the deal. We just heard all the facts. All right. So we're going to move on into President Trump takes on questions on Iran ceasefire after NBA Finals in New York. This is as he's leaving New York over here. He's on the tarmac. Now, again, most of the time, I try not to really cover a lot of the tarmac interviews because they are terrible audio. But we will try to get our best, and we'll go in with good faith, and we'll try to get some good answers here. But if it's too unbearable, man, we're just going to move on.
It was fantastic. Well played by both.
It actually sounds somewhat decent.
Teams. We all had a lot of fun. It was great to watch. Very talented players. We have ongoing negotiations in Iran and with Iran. That hasn't stopped. And we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now. But I think it's going well. The blockade continues to hold 100%. Nothing is getting through our blockade. No oil, no income, no nothing. Nothing's getting through the blockade. We have our great Secretary of the Interior, and we have Lee Zeldin, as you know.
And thank you for that, Straight. We definitely putting a lot of work into the show, man.
And you might give him a little update on what we're doing with a few different things, as long as we're here with the news, with the media. They're being very nice tonight, the media. In California, I hear they speeded the process up a little bit, and they had a good result, one good result out of two. Doug, would you like to say a couple of words?
Well, I would just say on the Middle East, President Trump has all the leverage.
You know, I think that is, from at least the clip that I saw, Steve, I saw multiple clips, actually, especially the one saying that he was getting booed. It really didn't sound like he was getting booed. Maybe there was a couple of people in there that was booing, but it sounded like a lot of people just cheering, you know, doing the normal cheer. But yes, that is being thrown around the media like nonstop. And I don't really, honestly, from what I saw, I didn't really hear any boos like that, where it's a mass crowd of boos. Maybe, you know, some sprinkled boos in there, but it sounded like cheering to me.
And I'm confident we're going to come out of this with a great deal. In terms of getting ready for the spectacular celebration of our amazing country, our 250th, with President Trump's safe and beautiful in D.C. What's been accomplished? Want to give a shout out to everybody.
I appreciate that, BZ.
That works for the National Park, the U.S. Park Police, but you know, cleaning up dozens and dozens of monuments, dozens of fountains back working again. The reflecting pool, which you've all known is near completion, is going to be ready before the UFC event at the end of this week. So everything's going great on that front. The city's never.
Yeah, and I heard Strickland, or whatever his name is, he's no longer going to be a part of the UFC fight back there because of his anti-Semitic comments on Jews or Israel. I think he was primarily talking about Israel, but nonetheless, he's now no longer allowed to fight.
Never looked better, and President Trump, I think you've said you call them love letters. You've got more love letters on about the fountains and the beauty of the city than ever before. But how fitting as we go into our 250th that President Trump personally getting.
Oh, Texas Gidget, that's actually wild, and I did hear them say some stuff about Mexico, and that makes sense.
Involved in making sure that our capital reflects the greatness of our country, because it's not decline is a choice, and President Trump has shown a blueprint for every American city, every mayor in this country that's got a large metro, that's got a homeless problem, that's got a graffiti problem, that's got a crime problem. He's laid out a blueprint of how you solve that.
Oh, interesting. He was never even a part of the fight, but now he's banned from attending. That's even weirder.
And that's the real lesson here.
Well, and I have to tell you that the main thing is there's very little crime now in D.C. It was a
I love how Trump always got to talk about DC like that right now. I mean, it's always on repeat. Real quick, yes, by the way, you guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening around the world or here in our nation, but you guys can like the video for me and what we do here on Insane Wheels. So I very much appreciate that and appreciate your engagement.
Crime haven a year and a half ago. Very little crime. Soon, I think it'll be almost no crime whatsoever. So.
Yeah, I saw his apology, and it was a, you know, I gotta admit he did do a good job of doing a backhanded apology on it, so it was great.
I want to thank really the National Guard, the DC Police. We work very closely with them, and they do as we ask, and they've been terrific, really terrific, and we have very, very little crime. Also, Memphis, and if you look at New Orleans in Louisiana, they're down 77%. Memphis is down 74%, and I would say
it's talking about crime.
DC is down 95%. DC has become very safe and very beautiful. The grass is new, much of the grass. You know, grass has a life just like a human being has a life, and it hadn't been changed in 100 years. But you see, there's nobody sleeping on the beautiful parks. The wire fences are all taken down, and DC is very safe, and it's also become very beautiful. The reflective lake, as we call it, the reflective beautiful.
Please get to Iran. You know, we all know about the reflective lake and all of this cool shit, you know, that you're doing over there. Great. But we need to talk about Iran.
A lot of the people before me, I know some of you very well, but take a look at that plane. See that plane? That's in perfect mint condition. Take a look at that. Look at that.
We fast forward a little bit.
And everything should look that way. We work with the military. We do a real job. But you look at the polish. Look at everything is.
Okay, yeah. So you've revamped everything.
That by bridging over the highways, it's going to be beautiful. Today, 73 records. That's a record. Nobody's ever had it.
Cool.
Military conflict than it was during the Biden administration.
Okay, so now he's deflecting and doing whataboutisms.
Iran has a nuclear weapon, and I say it's not okay. So the B-2 bombers did a big job and a great job, and we have got that in very good control. They will not have a nuclear weapon. Okay, could I ask Lee? He's done an incredible job, as you know. The environment is good, and he's approving more plans than any human being, I think, has ever approved anywhere in the world. We have more factories going up, car plants, AI plants. We have about 8
AI plant. We definitely don't want those. $18
trillion being invested in the United States, which is a record by far. There's never been anything like it. Many, many times more.
All these data centers. That's what he was referring to. AI plants.
Than the last administration. I won't get into the numbers. The numbers are astronomical. But
you know what? I think that we definitely should talk about that big ass sandwich. You know
Man,
what I mean?
motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
And that's actual factuals. We got a Gorilla Piss up in the building. Shout out to my man, by the way, saying make sure let's get the likes up and subscribe button to support the show. My man, thank you very much for that.
The history of the world, there has never been a country that's had $18 trillion invested in it, and that's in 11 months. The last administration had much less than $1 trillion over a period of 4 years. We have $18 trillion.
Now, that's one thing that he has done very well at, is getting foreign investments into the United States. That's one thing that none of us can really take away from him.
In 11 months, we haven't gotten the final numbers on the 12th month, which will be very good. Lee, do you want to say something?
Sure. Well, the Spurs, they have some good players. Wembayama, Castle did well tonight, but I'm still
okay. I don't care about that. I care about Iran. I don't care about no fucking sports.
It's not. No. What did you think of the reception you got from the
Taking questions.
I thought great. I mean,
we'll just take a couple and see if there's anything related to Iran.
I thought it was amazing, actually. You mean when they had the camera on me? I thought it was very good. Yeah. It was certainly amazing. It was. I think mostly cheers. It was loud and it was very enthusiastic.
Mr. President, ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith, who was talking about running for president, said he would blame you if the Knicks.
Man, they're just talking bullshit, to be honest. So we're gonna move on from it. I was trying to give them the people that are asking questions. I was trying to give them a chance, but they were just asking bullshit. All right, so we're gonna move on. So last night there was a big thing that happened over there by the Strait of Hormuz, actually off the coast of Oman, basically. U.S. Army helicopter goes down near the Strait of Hormuz. 2 troops were rescued. Now, thank God for that, by the way. No man left behind, right? So let's go ahead and bring this up, and we'll quickly get into the discussions of this. Also, let's go ahead and do the money part. We haven't done the money part, and Papa D, and let's see who else. Papa D, and that's it. He's the one that's carrying you guys this morning, so we gotta fix it.
All right, just get the money part done.
Give me money. Money me. Money now. Me a money needing a lot now.
Now that is real propaganda right there, 101. Feels good to be a G. All right, let's go ahead and get back into the madness here.
And I do want to get you back to some breaking news that we are following here coming into our newsroom. There on the right-hand side, you can see a live look over the Strait of Hormuz and the surrounding area that's coming in from marine traffic. Now, as we cover all of the latest...
Real quick, Steve says the border and foreign investments is definitely his strong points. So it's funny because he doesn't really speak much about the foreign investments and the border as much as I would think that he would. I mean, he talks about Washington, D.C. every single time. He talks about how the country was a dead country just a year ago, and now it's completely back, and we're back, all this shit. But he never actually states these things. I mean, he does once in a blue moon, like he just did. But you would think that he would kind of hyperfixate on that because he does hyperfixate on a lot of shit. And that's something that he doesn't really point to a lot.
Developments, we have now learned that crew members have been rescued after a U.S. Army Apache helicopter crashed right over the Strait of Hormuz. I want to take you to a post that's now coming in from U.S. Central Command, that is CENTCOM, where they break down the details here. Again, all of this developing and just...
Yeah, no, Naomi, that was Papa D. Oh, and Beaker, he sent in a 5 spot. That's where I knew there was one other person, but Papa D was sending in all the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then Beaker made it 6, and then Papa D throwing in an extra 25 to kill it.
Coming into the newsroom, it says at 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time, June 8th, which was yesterday, 2 crew members from a U.S. Army AH-64 Apache were rescued by American forces after their helicopter went down near the coast of Oman while patrolling regional waters. The soldiers were safely rescued.
Yes, he does do that, and I wish that he would stop doing that as well. You know, the only way forward is to look forward. Stop looking back. Stop discussing the past. I mean, once in a while is something. Okay, we get it. Once in a while, yeah, there was a reason why we got led to this position, but really, it's kind of irrelevant now. We care about going forward. We don't care about yesterday. I also dislike whenever there's whataboutisms like, oh, well, what about this guy? What about he? We're not talking about that guy. We're not talking about anybody else. We're talking about you. We're talking about this situation. You know what I mean? It's difficult for someone like me because I hate that kind of deflection.
Within approximately
from anyone.
2 hours and are now in stable condition.
Wow, brother, so loud coming in with the $9.99, the 10 spot, by the way. Thank you very much, sir. Hit the like and give me a bite of that sandwich. LOL.
Man, motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
Actual factuals, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for that, brother So Loud, as well as we got Naomi coming in with the 5 spot as well, saying hit the dono goal, y'all. We're almost there, actually. Thank you very much for the 5 spot as well. And we got Lipius coming in with the 5 gifted memberships. Yo, that is fucking epic. Is that, I got to figure out who this is. Who's Afrolipus? Afrolipus. So it's got to be either a Grillipus or I'm thinking it could be God damn it. What's his name? I'll think of it here in a second. Anson Knowles. It must be one of the two.
Incident under investigation. Rescue efforts were led by U.S. Naval Forces, Central Command.
Oh, and Grillipus. Okay, so that's, the W. That's a W, bro. Thank you for that, by the way. He said, it's me. It's me. Yeah, no, I feel that's awesome. Thank you for that.
82nd Airborne Division with support from U.S. Air Force and Navy units, including U.S. 5th Fleet Task Force 59. So again, we do know that helicopter crashed near the Strait of Hormuz off the coast of Oman, but the people who are inside are okay. President Trump saying last night when he was asked about it that it appeared that they were doing just fine, and now CENTCOM confirming that as well. Now, the New York Post.
Bill Castle, my man, good morning to you. And you know what's funny is that's what I've been lacking on this morning. That's what dude, we're 43 minutes into the fucking show. And we haven't even whipped out one of these bad boys. What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Let's go ahead and fix that. Come on, man. All right, now we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, here we go.
First reporting this, and Apache helicopters have been a fairly key asset for the American military as it enforces that blockade.
Well, I wasn't that far off then, Agrillipus. I literally called out Anson, and he's the one that gave you that name. That's hilarious. PJ says, who's moose? That would be her moose. Yes, sir.
On Iranian crude oil shipments and tankers seeking to pressure Iran into reaching some kind of deal. The helicopters also have been used by the...
Hell yeah, BZ. A Lotus coming in with the $5 of the 5 spot, saying, I'm in. Absolutely. Thank you for making it rain. I think we might almost be right there at the goal. So thank you for that, BZ Lotus, as well as Agrillipus for your guys' contributions.
UAE, the United Arab Emirates,
and so loud
down Iranian drones during this war. Again, taking a look here at the New York Post as we take a live look over the Strait of Hormuz. Again, this is kind of zoomed out here, but it's coming in
Time
from
will
marine
tell.
traffic. And you can see kind of some of the aerial view there of the different aircraft that are traveling through that area. Quite a few of them right now in the skies. Now, President Trump also
You be safe out there. We always appreciate you.
saying that, quote, we have a good chance of signing a deal with Iran in, quote, 2 or 3 days. Now,
Which I'm going to give you guys my honest feedback on hearing that. We're going to get a deal within 1 to 3 days. Let me go and give you guys my analysis on that.
Stop the cap.
All right, here we go.
Didn't provide any sort of details on why there was a reason for that optimism, but essentially predicting that a deal is near. Now, he is in closed-door meetings all throughout
Brother GEG, good morning.
the day that is taking place here over at the White House inside, but cameras not allowed inside, and it appears that there are no public events that are scheduled with President Trump today. If that changes, we'll make sure to let you know here on Live Now from Fox. But Trump adding, quote, we're very close to having a very, very good, strong, powerful deal if we go and bomb, which we could do very easily if we want. And we
Yes, of course we can do all of that. We, on a military front, we absolutely demolish Iran. Okay, that's where people get it conflated. Oh, yeah, fucking Iran's winning the war, and then you get these people that are like, and by the way, I don't think they're necessarily winning the war either, but they are fighting a different fight. They're not fighting the same military front fight that we are. They're fighting an economic fight with the Strait. You know what I mean? And so, enforcing the Strait to be closed by Iran is actually much easier than it is to enforce it to be open, because all you have to do is actually threaten it and make an example out of 1 or 2 ships by sending in 3-4 drones, attacking them. And then you get all the ship owners and then, of course, the insurance companies to say, you're not passing through. Don't ever fucking go through that shit until we get clearance, right?
spend another 2 or 3 weeks bombing, they'll have
Let's get the likes up, everybody.
But
Double tap that
you
screen.
won't have the Strait open for months. So President Trump saying there will be no more strikes, attacks, bombings there on Iran, essentially saying that we're just waiting to see.
Yes, and make sure you guys answer the poll that I left in the chat for you guys. I want to know your guys' thoughts.
As we could have a deal 2 or 3 days from now. Again, as I mentioned here, we're going to keep you posted as we get all of the latest developments here on.
And of course, that's what we're doing as well. So we've got a little bit of an update, because it didn't give us too much information in regards to that helicopter going down, because that was kind of breaking in the moment. So we really didn't get a lot of info. You just heard that the 2 service members were rescued. You didn't really hear anything else. But we do have this thing from Fox News. I'm assuming that this is where Trey Yingst is going to go ahead and, talk about his, he's been doing a lot of the reports on their Fox's side. So we're going to play and see what he's got to say.
Craig, what can you tell us?
I assume
Hey
correct.
guys, good morning. We're tracking another development as well. A U.S. Apache helicopter went down near the Strait of Hormuz on Monday. Now, President Trump says the crew members are doing fine, and we are still gathering more information on what took place. It's not clear if the gunship went down due to enemy fire or a mechanical issue.
They're saying that they're doing an investigation right now. They as far as as us public know, we don't know why there was a crash. We don't know.
This does come as the ceasefire with Iran is holding again as the region braces for what comes next. President Trump spoke after attending Game 3 of the NBA Finals between the Knicks and Spurs. He indicated that negotiations toward a deal are ongoing, and we could have a better idea of where things stand in the days ahead. The president also discussed
in the days ahead, you said that there would be like a deal. See, it says right here, deal could come within 2 or 3 days.
His call with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
See, giving timelines like this is even if it is short term, even if this is going to happen on that kind of level. If I were him, I wouldn't say nothing. I wouldn't do any of that. I understand why he's trying to do that. I think it's just a little bit of media manipulation. But the truth be told is, even if this were the case, I wouldn't announce it. I wouldn't announce a lot of the things that Trump has announced, because it puts an unnecessary timeline on something. And now people are going to keep you to it. And people are going to be like, well, you said 3 days and now it's like 30 days. What's going on here? See what I mean by timelines? So anyways, that's the only thing I wanted to say on the whole timeline
after the
thing.
exchange of fire over the weekend.
We had a
Yep.
very
What's
good
up, Cole?
conversation, and he was hit, and he hit back. And I can't blame him for that, but he was hit. He hit back, and now they've called it quits. So they're going to just leave each other alone for another week or something.
After President Trump called on Israel and Iran to stop shooting, both sides agreed. Since then, Israel has continued to operate against Iran-backed Hezbollah in Lebanon, launching new strikes overnight and issuing fresh evacuation orders this morning.
You be safe out there. And we also, real quick, we got Mr. James coming in on the Cash App. My man, thank you very much, by the way. Sending in a 5-spot, and I don't want to say your last name because I don't want to dox you, obviously. But James, thank you for the 5-spot saying, okay, I'm in. My man, thank you very much for that. Thank you very much for that. It adds up very quickly, as you guys all know.
Prime Minister Netanyahu addressed his country overnight with a message for Hezbollah.
In the past 24 hours, Iran and Hezbollah tried to impose a new equation on us. This equation is intolerable and unacceptable to me. They thought they could fire from Lebanese and Iranian territory at Israel, and that we would not act. That did not happen, and that will not happen.
With questions about if the ceasefire could be broken again.
Okay, good to know. I didn't want to assume, you know what I mean? But thank you, PJ.
International attention remains on the Strait of Hormuz, where the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports is expected to continue. CENTCOM says U.S. forces disabled an unladen oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman on Monday.
Yes, and so as you guys can see, there is a ship that has been disabled there. Watch. Right there, as you guys can see, there's, you know, smoking. This is not the first ship that this has happened to. I think this is now like the fourth or fifth or sixth or something like that, in that range of how many of these ships have been where they've been disabled.
Laden oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman on Monday after it tried to breach the blockade. An FA-18 Super Hornet from the USS Abraham Lincoln fired a precision munition into the ship's engineering and steering rooms. Since the blockade went into effect, 134 vessels have been turned around and 7 disabled. Guys?
So,
yes.
So Trey, I'm
so loud. It's definitely frustrating to watch.
I'm seeing that we're probably talking to the foreign minister, Arachi.
It's
I
true,
believe
Rick.
is the one we're talking to. But I watched an exclusive interview on another network where another high-ranking official contradicts what the foreign minister is evidently telling our side. Can you hear? We just want to play this.
They contradict themselves nonstop, and so do we. It's a nonstop game. Like, warfare is not just warfare against these countries. It's literally like a psychological thing that you have to do with your people as well, with your own people on each side. You know, it's warfare is very psychological.
For you, and I want to get your analysis.
We do not see a serious will to reach a framework that could actually be implemented. And I think with regard to Iran's blocked assets, this is in fact a very clear and prominent example of that. As for uranium, enriched materials, enrichment itself, and nuclear issues, we are not currently negotiating on those matters.
So Ibrahim Azizi, a key parliament member, says we're not negotiating. So I don't know how to interpret this. Are they not talking to the foreign minister, or are they different? Are they playing a game here? What do you think?
Yeah, an important interview by Fred Pleiken there.
Well, Rick, the truth is majority of their entire Navy is down on the bottom of the sea floor. That is true. The thing that Iran, the IRGC, uses very well is actually their Mosquito fleet. Those are very small, you know, kind of inflatable style fast boats, kind of like fast skiffs. And there's also ones that are metal as well, but they're a little bit bigger. But they're still very small. They're like a 3 person kind of boat, very small. And they are used very well for not only against our own Navy, let's just say. They haven't been doing too much of that with our Navy, but they can do it and overwhelm different defenses on the ship, because you've got a whole bunch of the Mosquito fleet just swarming them. So there is that. They do have those kind of things. And of course, their ballistic missile program, which is the strongest in the entire world. So that's something to always take into consideration. And of course, they're drones.
In Tehran, because it gives you a sense of where the Iranians stand right now. They are not as optimistic toward a possible agreement in the days ahead.
Another extra
we heard
surprise.
from President Trump overnight, who said we'd get more clarity in the next few days. But Iranian officials are making clear if those assets are not released, they're not willing to sign an agreement. And the Americans have said those assets will not be released unless the initial parts of a memorandum
What's up, Anger Casper? My man, good morning. Hopefully you're enjoying the morning.
of understanding are reached that would open the Strait of Hormuz and then go into those deeper negotiations related to Iran's nuclear program. When we step back here, you raise a very important question.
Oh, yeah, we got an RLM raid. I very much appreciate it. I did that while I inhaled. Feels bad.
Brian, and that question is who is in charge and who can actually make the final decision to an agreement with the United States? Is it the foreign minister? Is it Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian? And ultimately, we know that sign-off will have to come from Mojtaba Khamenei, the new supreme leader of Iran. And so things are still very unclear in the region, and it's really not clear if the Iranians are willing to make a good faith deal at this point. Remember, this has been dragged out for more than 2 months now. And that same official in that very interview threatened regional allies of the United States if there are future attacks against the Iranian regime or its proxies like Hezbollah, there will be an even heavier blow, this official said, against the region.
Yeah, and of course,
I don't need any more questions back and forth from this crew here because we have that crew that's going to be discussing this here in a minute. Israel hammers Hezbollah targets. Top Iran officials cast doubt on U.S. deal, of course. And we've got this coming out just about 2 hours ago. So let's get into that here quickly. But first, you guys must obey.
Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate. Maybe you need to donate some freaking money. Donate some freaking.
Now that is the best propaganda that you're going to get all day. We got Sterling Will coming out and gifting out a membership. Let's go, my man. Thank you so much for not only helping me, but you're helping someone else in the IWF, my man. Thank you very much for that. All right. I think the entire world needs to embrace their fuck ups quickly.
Don't beat yourself up over past mistakes. You are going to fuck up again in the future, quite possibly in a most spectacular fashion. Why worry about yesterday's fuck ups when you have tomorrow's fuck ups to look forward to? You are a fuck up, and fucking up is part of your growth process. Embrace the process.
We embrace the process for sure. Oh shit! All right, let's go ahead and bring this up real quick and we'll quickly get into it. There we go.
President Trump is still pushing for a deal with Iran and says we could have an idea of the potential.
What's up, Jack Shack? Good morning to you. Hopefully you're enjoying your topless Taco Tuesday so far.
Agreement in the coming days. And it comes as Israel continues to hammer Hezbollah in Lebanon, carrying out strikes just in the last hour. Aisha Hasni is live at the White House.
Hell yeah, Universal. Thank you for the gold coin, by the way. I can't see it on my side, but we got the mods that are always looking out for you. So thank you for the gold coin on that.
For the latest. Hey, Aisha.
Hey, good morning to you, Brian. And when we talk about...
Good morning, Sterling, over there. Hopefully you're trucking just safe and good over there.
...a potential deadline, that deadline could be in a number of days because the president, on his way back from the Knicks game late last night, told reporters that he'll have some sort of an idea of where these talks are going in just 1 to 2 days. Watch.
We have ongoing negotiations.
And we actually just played this live. Now, it sounds like they actually fixed the audio a little bit. These tarmac interviews are usually shit, but today's was actually somewhat decent.
In Iran and with Iran.
Yeah, they definitely fixed the audio as well. They went in there with some sort of audio enhancer, and took out all the background noise.
And that hasn't stopped.
That's right, Free.
And we could have at least an idea by 1 or 2 days from now. We're very close to having a very, very good, strong, powerful deal. If we do the bombing, a lot of people are going to be killed. Who wants to do that? I don't. And we'll get...
Oh, shit, Gary. I was wondering where you were at this morning. Hopefully you're doing all right, my man. That's terrible. Keep us updated.
We'll have a signed document that's actually stronger than doing the bombing.
So this morning, CENTCOM gave an update on those two helicopter crew members that were lost at sea. Apache.
Hell yeah, James. Appreciate you sending in a little bit of that gift side on the vertical. Thank you for that.
Crew members were told that they were rescued by American forces after their helicopter went down near the coast of Oman while patrolling regional waters. The soldiers were safely rescued within approximately 2 hours, are in stable condition.
No man left behind, you know what I mean?
Bruh.
Which I'm very glad for.
The cause of the incident still under investigation, according to CENTCOM. Meanwhile, the president is still trying to cool tensions between Iran and Israel after an exchange of fire this week. The Israelis are downplaying any friction between Trump and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
Of course he's going to downplay the shit out of that. Trust me. Right now, Netanyahu's in a little bit of a pickle.
Likening it to a lover's quarrel. And it comes after Trump reportedly told Axios that he warned Netanyahu that if he went back to war with Iran, he might find.
And in all fairness, Axios has been misrepresenting this entire war anyways. So Axios is not the greatest representation of truth. Okay,
himself fighting alone. Vice President J.D. Vance telling Jesse Waters last night the Iranians actually do not want war. And if there is a deal, it'll be a home run for the American people.
I think the president's attitude on this is we have to verify, of course. One of the most important things to whether this ultimate settlement is a success is not what the Iranians write on the paper.
All of it's propaganda. It's all propaganda. And that's the part that really upsets me. Because the truth is all I give a fuck about is the truth. That's the whole thing, right? Now, these guys don't operate on that because it's not going to be beneficial for them. Of course not, because they've got a narrative to paint. Every administration, all politicians, they all have a narrative to paint. But, my narrative to paint is just truth. I could totally disregard all the other bullshit. I don't know why that's such a hard concept for people to wrap their mind around.
But whether they actually comply with some of the requirements of the settlement that we come up to, the Iranians don't want this war to continue. It's not in their best interest. And I think they're coming to the table, putting some real things on the table. We're, of course, going to verify it. But if we get to
I can't even answer you on that, Steve Easy. I don't even remember.
this deal, it's going to be a home run win for the American people.
So, Brian, the president has some policy meetings on the schedule today. Nothing that's open to the press, so we aren't expecting to see him today. So keep your eyes on Truth Social if there's any news. Brian?
And if something does open up, I know you're going to be there. Thanks so much,
Absolutely.
Aisha. Appreciate
You got it.
For 100 days.
Yeah, I really don't need to hear this guy go okay, I understand what's happening here. Okay, so this is a retired Navy SEAL. I think we all have actually heard from Robert Howard before. And he's also going to be extreme on the Middle East side. Okay, so he's going to be biased as all fuck. But nonetheless, I do agree that I doubt that there's going to be any imminent U.S. deal. I think that is cap.
Stop the cap.
I think it is a bit of market manipulation. I think that was an unnecessary timeline that he just gave, 1 to 3 days, that there could be a deal. It's like, stop doing the timeline thing. Stop it. Because you let down, it's not even about the enemy. Don't tell your enemy this shit. It's don't let down your own fucking people. Don't lie to your people. You can lie to the world or whatever. You can do all that shit, but don't lie to me. Don't lie to us, right? That's kind of my ideology on it. America first, America only. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this next thing. 2 soldiers killed in Israeli airstrikes. Trump says deal to 1 to 3 days. Now, this coming out about 2.5 hours ago. This is from Live Now from Fox. So we're going to get back onto the just the live now stuff, what's happening.
Of course, the big story that we're following continues to be,
which is truly what I like. I don't like even the Fox News stuff, all that shit that we were just watching. The reason why I clip out certain things from it is because they do propaganda nonstop too. So all I care about is just getting the fact of what's happening, what's the report, and then move on kind of thing. That's why I really don't like listening to many analysis or people that are in this type of work. I don't really like hearing analysts just go ahead and give out opinion pieces. I like when we actually get fucking facts. That's why we only listen to a few analysts.
The situation developing in the Middle East. What I want to do is pop this up on your screen once again as we
Oh,
continue.
yeah, that's true. We are in overtime. So you guys know what that means. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Send in your money. You know what I mean? We definitely still have, we have stories after this. So we've got some stuff going on. We're going to be here for a second.
Follow all of the latest coming in, again, from Israel here. This is the Israel Defense Forces, the IDF, saying they struck the main headquarters of Hamas's naval police in the Khan Yunis area. Several terrorists operating from the site were eliminated, including Ismail al-Aham, a cell commander in Hamas's military wing. The headquarters was used to advance and execute attacks against IDF troops and Israeli civilians. It was also used for Hamas's efforts to rebuild and reconstitute its capabilities in violation of that ceasefire agreement. So as always, there is a lot going on, and I do want to help break it down here. We do have Major Dan Pfefferman, former Israel Defense Forces intelligence, also co-editor there at Middle East 24. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us here this morning.
Never heard of this guy, never seen this guy before. I've been covering news like this nonstop for years. Never heard of this guy, never seen this guy. This guy's got an AI background. He's not even on a decent green screen or camera. I can't even take you serious. And you're from the IDF? Come on, bruh. All right, so I'll give him at least a chance to get the monologue off.
Yeah, glad to be here. Thank you.
And first off, I want to talk to you a little bit about that post here that I just showed from the IDF, because again, we've heard a lot about the situation here between Israel and Iran, the U.S. and Iran, but it's important to mention as we look at this that we're still seeing activity over in Gaza.
Yeah, I mean,
real quick, we got Steve Posey coming in for the 19 months, saying $660 for time and a half OT pay. Yeah, I wish it worked that way. I do wish it worked that way on that, Steve Posey. But thank you for re-upping your membership. Your membership, I very much appreciate it, my man.
The truth is since the ceasefire, so to speak, that came into play, Hamas continues to try to rearm itself, reestablish itself within the Gaza Strip. It refuses to disarm per the agreement, the ceasefire agreement backed by the Board of Peace of President Trump and backed by the United Nations Security Council. And so Israel has taken on itself in a rather pinpoint manner. It's not re-entering the parts of Gaza that it doesn't currently hold, but where Hamas senior operatives are found or preparing terrorist attacks or rebuilding terrorist infrastructure, Israel is, taking the purview to take preemptive action here.
Also want to talk about some remarks that were made from President Trump. Now, he spoke to members of the media very early this morning as he was departing from JFK after attending the Knicks game. He had a lot to say here. I'm going to pop this up on your screen. President Donald
And we actually covered that, but Reuters is specifically saying President Trump said negotiations with Iran were ongoing and suggested progress could be clear within 1 or 2 days, while insisting a U.S. blockade remained fully effective. That's coming from Reuters. Let's go ahead and see if we get some other posts that comes up here, just because I would like. Okay, here we go. Now we're getting into the actual thing that I wanted to get out of this.
Sort of kind of an attrition.
So now this is the report. 2 dead in Israeli strikes in Iran. So from these recent strikes.
Drag this negotiation out. It's never a no. It's
oh shit, we got Brother So Loud coming in with the $4.99 as well, saying overtime pay. Keep up the great content, brother. Well, thank you very much for your support, bro. It definitely goes a long way and it adds up quickly, as you know. So thank you for that very much.
Never a yes. It's always how do we buy time? It's always how do we build up expectations? The Americans, the Western approach is very much a win-win, right? In a negotiation, how do you get to a win-win?
I think he's just waiting for him to finish up saying this so then he can get into this report, because he just brought this banner up saying 2 dead in Israeli strikes. So he's about to get into that, but he's just waiting for this guy to fucking finish. That's what it looks like anyways. Yes, there it is. See, I was so correct. He just rambled on for like another 3 minutes.
By Israel just days ago here. I want to pop this up on your screen.
My man, Magic Man, good morning to you, by the way. Hopefully you're enjoying your Topless Taco Tuesday as well. I definitely know that we are. I got to hear that part again, though.
Associated Press now reporting that Iranian state TV is officially reporting here a short time ago that at least 2 people were killed in the strikes that were performed there by Israel just days ago here. I want to pop this up on your screen again. Just coming in from the Associated Press, it says breaking. Iranian state television says at least 2 members of an air defense unit were killed in the Israeli attacks Monday. The report represented the first time Iran acknowledged fatalities from the strikes. And that brings me to my next question here, because why is it that we don't hear about these fatalities from Iranian state TV, but now all of a sudden they are mentioning that 2 members of the air defense unit died?
Yeah, it's rare for them to admit such casualties. The truth is, most of the casualties on the Iranian side in this few months of conflict have been from regime agents, military personnel, IRGC. There's very, very few civilian casualties on the Iranian side, and that's because of the nature of the targets of the
and that is good. That at least and that is true. Now there have been casualties, but not as many as you would expect with the amount of strikes that we really did conduct. All right, so let's go ahead and move on, though. That's enough of that guy. Let's go ahead and get into that whole thing that Trump said that Iran deal expected in 2 to 3 days. Let's go ahead and get that report real quick. We got Papa D just needed to conquer that donation goal. So thank you, kind sir, for that. He says, shoot, I'll hit it again. LOL. Can't say the other word. It censors it. Yeah, that's YouTube for you. But thank you very much, kind sir. And super chat is a lot more finickier when you send in like curse words or certain things. You can say a lot of the things in the chat, but you can't say it on a super chat, which is odd. But anyways, I very much appreciate that, Papa D. You conquered the morning, by the way. So thank you for that.
Man, motherfuckers talk all the shit they want. But you see me, I'm sitting up here snacking on this big ass sandwich, not getting a fuck. Kiss my dick, motherfucker.
You know what that guy said. All right, let's go ahead and bring this up. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Bam.
Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. My name is Josh Breslow, and we are approaching the top of the hour on this Tuesday, 7:50.
Oh, shit. Yeah, Beaker. I just saw it just now. My man, Beaker, coming in hot on the Cash App side, my man, saying he hit the goal as well. Thank you very much for the Cash App. And that definitely... Listen, man, when it goes to the Cash App, I get 100% of the proceeds, and that is a fucking W. So thank you for that, kind sir. Thank you for that.
58 on the East Coast and 4:58 on the West Coast. Right now, I do want to get you to the latest information coming in on the conflict between the U.S. and Iran, of course, Israel as well. We know that President Trump did say just hours ago that he expects a deal with Iran could be reached within 2 or 3 days. Now, all of this happening.
Okay, well, I think that is.
Stop the cap.
As we know that there was an Army Apache helicopter that crashed near the Strait of Hormuz. We're also told by President Trump and CENTCOM that all of those on board were rescued after about 2 hours, and all of them appear to be okay. We also have other developments.
Real quick before we get into that, make sure you guys double tap that screen, by the way, if you guys are on the vertical side. Also, hit that like button if you're on the horizontal. I very much appreciate all of you guys. We've got well over 140 people in here between both live streams.
Coming in from the Israel Defense Forces, the
Here we go.
IDF, as they say, they eliminated 2 terrorists from the Islamic Jihad terrorist organization who are planning to carry out imminent terror attacks against IDF troops. Now, they did eliminate both of them, one of them a commander.
Yes, that is true. You've done it twice. And I think that's the only 2 times I've ever done it, Papa D, actually.
In the Islamic Jihad terrorist
No,
organization.
there was a couple of others, but still, you were a part of a lot of it.
The head of an Islamic Jihad terrorist cell. Throughout the war, they say, he carried out rocket fire attacks against Israel. Again, a lot of developments as always, so I do want to bring in Jonathan Saye with the Foundation for Defense of Democracies to help break it all down. Jonathan, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
Hi, Josh. It's great.
Now, the FDD, they're reporting, they try to do a good job of being unbiased. They try, but they just can't help themselves. You know what I mean? They definitely are biased. But this guy does somewhat of a good job trying as well to be unbiased with it, which I got to give credit where credit is due. But there is still obviously influence. But still, I'm willing to hear out at least his monologue on it real quick.
To be with you again.
Of course. And we heard from President Trump, as he mentioned, 2 to 3 days for a potential deal with Iran. What do you make of that? What is the realistic aspect of that actually happening? Do we have any idea at this point?
The only thing we know is it comes down to sequencing, and we're talking about an MOU in this context, which is still far from a deal. The immediate priorities of the president are, of course,
which I agree with. So
the Strait of Hormuz and securing the nuclear dust, as he puts it. So we're still far from dismantlement and negotiating anything greater than that. But the developments on the ground really suggest otherwise. When this was the first time that Tehran felt
you be safe out there, Steve Easy. We always appreciate you.
Emboldened enough to use its own territory to carry out attack against Israel simply on behalf of its proxy. And that was a gamble from the Islamic Republic, trying to see how much they can escalate and whether they will see the retaliation.
Oh, shit. I'm the same way, Papa D. Absolutely. Listen, there's a reason why that super chats work, because it is engaging. People in the chat get to see it too. You know what I mean?
Return. So far, it looks like it's more or less not playing out in their favor to make that claim. But the big picture here is that Tehran is testing the waters, and for the first time, I think the ball is back on President and Israel's court.
And that's what I wanted to ask you next. When you talk about President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu, there's been a lot of discussion back and forth, and obviously a lot of that discussion is happening behind the scenes, the public not privy to that. But what do you think that coordination is like between Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump right now?
The key question here is, can the president or Washington as a whole differentiate between their policies towards the Islamic Republic versus Lebanon? Are we going to...
That's very good, Jonathan, actually. Very good, decent point.
Solidify the regime's influence across the region.
But they shouldn't be any influence. The Lebanese government and Hezbollah, obviously, two separate things, but still under the same government, basically. You can't really be playing by their rules. Just Israel stop attacking them for now. Okay. You know what I mean? Like that's what Trump even was like getting at. He's like, just calm down for a week. It's like, wow. He's just like, just calm down, relax for like a week.
By treating their proxy as an extension of the regime itself. That's the real core question here. And whether we, in the short term, I guess would indirectly appease the regime by suggesting that.
Oh no, this man is definitely very Jewish.
That one way or another, we would
nothing wrong with
attacks against their proxies just to get a better deal with them. That could be a strategy, and that has what the president has used. So far, the regime has not really gave in. They're actually using this opportunity to see if they can somehow drive a rift between, of course, Washington and Jerusalem, whereas facts on the ground remain to be the same in a sense that they still continue to share the same adversary, being the regime. We saw the Islamic Republic attack U.S. sites across the Persian Gulf.
Definitely not AI, but appreciate you,
the day
though.
before they attacked Lebanon. So this dual strategy of one hand trying to somehow cause a rift and play the two sides against one another.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
While at the same time attacking them together is not going to play out in Tehran's favor in the long term.
And I want to bring you some of this breaking news that we've been following. This is coming in from the Associated Press, as they say Iranian state television says at least 2 members,
which we did see this,
of an air defense unit were killed in the Israeli attacks on Monday. The report represents the first time that Iran has acknowledged fatalities from the strike. So why now?
From any strikes.
Why is Iran coming forward and actually acknowledging that there have been deaths this time versus what we've seen in the past?
They simply want to play the victim all of a sudden. So now
Hell yeah. Cheers, brother.
That the core part of the war, at least in the short term, is over. The Islamic Republic wants to play victim domestically for their own support base and internationally, to claim that even though they did respond, and they don't use the word retaliation for themselves, of course, all of a sudden they want to point the fingers at Israel to say it was Israel that in fact violated the ceasefire. And if you look at the rhetoric coming from their...
Well, you know, what is wild about the whole thing is in the regards of this whole conglomerate, believe it or not, Israel was attacked first on this last go around, and the response was where Israel went in and to Lebanon, Beirut, Lebanon, into the city and actually took out their headquarters. And then there was some attacks that were exchanged from United States as well as Israeli back and forth with Iran for a little bit, and then it calmed down. Okay, so this is where we're at now with this. And so now they're playing victim on it, like, oh, the Israelis attacked it. Well, no, actually, you guys had Hezbollah attacking Haifa in northern Israel, taking on strikes as well. And they're like, well, or not strikes, but you know what I mean, hits from the northern aspect. They were launching them at least. And so there was a response.
State outlets, it follows the same pattern. Of course, such propaganda ignores the fact that it was the regime that was still putting mines across the Strait of Hormuz as negotiations were going on.
Of course, that those were all things that actually show escalation. You know, if you're dropping mines in while you're actively negotiating, it is a sign of escalation for sure.
Violated the ceasefire more than once, either directly or through proxies. But the greater pattern, and I'll end that question here on the fatality or the casualties of the Islamic Republic officials, we saw a lot of infrastructure be taken out by the attacks. The regime's military apparatus has never been weaker. That said, if you look at the casualty, it is not as high as the infrastructure damage. So many of these mid-level, lower-level officials are still technically alive. They're still functional, to say the least.
Pablo, yo, bro, that was fucking hilarious. What the fuck? Yo! That's awesome. All right, here we go.
Even though they've lost the capabilities, the morale on the regime side is more or less has returned because there is enough of them that are alive. Now, should the calculus change and should Washington or Israel realize that they might have to re-engage kinetically, the core comes down to actually causing an image of total chaos for the regime officials, ensuring that even mid and low-level officials fear assassinations as much as high-level commanders did when the war first started.
And right now you're looking at the Strait of Hormuz. This is a shot kind of zoomed out from what we've had via marine traffic. And can you explain for folks out there where things kind of stand with the strait at this point? That's been a big point of contention here. We've heard really President Trump say that it needs to reopen. Other countries have said the same. So where do things kind of stand right now?
Standstill.
What has happened so far is Washington flipping the script on Tehran is working in the United States' favor. The blockade is in fact working. To recap,
he is right about that. The blockade of Iranian ports has actually definitely crippled Iran and their money-making ability.
Briefly, what
by hundreds of millions a day, by the way.
happened was that, of course, the Islamic Republic was attacking vessels.
And that's not even discussing how much infrastructure damage that they are doing, as well as them producing 50% less now oil. They have to. They had to slow down everything because their infrastructure will not actually be able to retain all of that. Shit, they were trying to get fucking all these ships up out here in the actual northern part. They were trying to get ships just loaded up. Just come on over. We'll just fill you up, you know, kind of thing. It is wild. It's all chaos out here.
Selectively, it was not a total shutdown of the strait. They were going after vessels, key shipments, of course, American, Israeli, in some cases European, but not Chinese vessels. And in return, of course, you saw Washington impose a total blockade, naval blockade against all Iranian ports in the Persian Gulf. And then all of a sudden we saw the impact on Iran.
Yeah, because also 90% of their exports have reduced. Their 10% that they're sending out right now is not from sea. It's from the northern side and the east as well. They have to truck their shit out. So they have a 90% export reduction since this blockade has been into effect. So they're losing a lot of money daily.
Economy, of course. Now the inflation is increasing more. Iran is using millions and millions every day. So the question really is this enough?
No, hundreds of millions.
To either make the regime agree to a deal to make them provide concessions, or is it going to cause enough fractures internally? And what we've seen with the president's really strategy towards Iran was maximum pressure against the Islamic Republic, maximum support for the Iranian people, and maximum fracture of the regime's apparatus. And if you really pursue all these tracks at the same time, that is.
See, that's high IQ thinking right there, Papa D. Kind of the reason why I asked the question. You know what I mean?
The best
That's
case
high
scenario
IQ thinking.
we've seen to either get some sort of concessions or weaken them enough to have other alternatives and actually maybe move forward with a transition of power in Tehran, especially given that the regime as it stands today is not really willing to compromise on key terms such as nuclear or weather ballistic missiles.
And I want to get your take on how this kind of factors in here. Talking about the Strait, we have this post from U.S. Central Command as they provided a little bit more information here about that Apache helicopter, saying at 7:33 p.m. Eastern Time, June 8th, which was yesterday, 2 crew members from a U.S. Army Apache helicopter were rescued by...
Which we already know. We already covered all this. So now he's just getting his reactions from that. All right, real quick, we do have to take our attention over into Penn Station. So it says a stabbing victim describes chaos in Penn Station. This coming out just early this morning. I mean, just an hour ago. So let's go ahead and figure out what this story is, and we'll bring it up right here, right now. Here we go.
A career felon recently freed from a New Jersey jail, now under arrest after hurting at least 5 people in that stabbing spree at Penn Station. And this morning, growing outrage as we learn the homeless suspect, who has a long history of mental illness, was reportedly arrested back in 2022 for slashing a man in the neck, and he only got 2 years probation. Our next guest was one of the...
What? No way. You cut somebody's fucking neck and you get 2 years of probation? What? Bruh.
And this morning, growing outrage as we learn the homeless suspect, who has a long history of...
Oh, he's homeless. I bet you he played the, I'm sure, whatever defense he had, if any at all, whatever, was, I'm fucking insane, right?
Mental illness, was reportedly arrested back in 2022 for slashing a man in the neck, and he only got 2 years probation. Our next guest was one of...
Yes, by the way, you guys don't have to like all the craziness that's happening, but make sure you guys hit that like button. Double tap that screen if you guys are on the vertical side. I very much appreciate you guys. Thank you for that, by the way.
Those victims on Sunday, slashed in the face at Penn Station, and is now calling out Democrats like Mayor Mamdani over their soft on crime policies. Henry Obadiah joins me now. Henry, thank you so much for coming in. First, show the audience. Will you show them your right side of your face where you were slashed?
Oh, this is the victim.
And then...
Oh, my fucking God. They actually brought on the victim. Holy shit. Oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
This is going to get interesting.
Crime policies. Henry Obadiah joins me now. Henry, thank you so much for coming in. First, show the audience. Will you show them your right side of your face where you were slashed?
Right here.
And then the lip, too. You have stitches in your lip?
Oh, shit.
So tell me what happened on Sunday. You're coming back from the Jersey Shore.
So I'm coming back from the Jersey Shore, and I'm heading toward the exit to 7th Avenue. And I'm walking, toward the escalator, and I see these 2 guys kind of scuffling a little bit. I didn't think anything of it, walking toward the escalator, and I locked eyes with this crazy madman, and he just looked at me, and you see in his eyes, he had this rage in his eyes, and he went, whack, cracked me right in the mouth. And my first reaction was, I'm going to go after this guy. I want to kill him.
No kidding.
But then this guy behind me goes, he's got a knife. He's got a knife. So then I just backed off, went up the escalator. It's a girl up there outside. She goes, he cut you. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh my God. So then we were waiting. There was a lot of chaos. People trying to flag down the police. Mm-hmm. And I got a cop. He said to me, you know, I told him that, yeah, I got attacked and I could identify the assailant. So he goes, come with me. We went downstairs into the Jersey Transit area, and it was a crazy scene. There was blood all over the place.
Oh, shit.
There was clothes strewn all over. And we followed this trail of blood, and we saw this kid was bleeding from the head.
Oh,
and,
shit.
He had like a towel on his head. They were attending to him. And then...
what, he'd go on a rampage and start hitting other people too?
You know, they came over to me. Some of the cops were asking me questions.
Total nightmare.
Then a couple of minutes later, another guy got stabbed.
Oh, my
Cops were
God.
running in all directions. It was crazy.
So did you?
That sounds like fucking chaos.
Oh shit! Oh shit! Did you have an interaction with the other people that were stabbed? How badly were they stabbed?
Just one guy I saw. He was the guy.
And this guy stabbed 2 fucking people or more and got 2 years of probation? Come on, there's no way.
It was lying on the ground. He was...
The kid? The
Yeah,
young one?
he's, you know, younger looking guy. And he was holding his head and blood was coming out. It was like on a towel. But
So, I mean, I had friends writing me right after we were talking about this on air yesterday saying, I'm coming in on that same transit system. I don't want to go to Penn Station. But we don't have a choice. A lot of people live in New Jersey. A lot of people live on Long Island. We come in, we go to these train stations, and that's how people get to work. This guy...
See, like, mental asylums were built for shit like this, you know, insane asylums. But see, there's always an overreach when shit like that gets into... Now they're going after normal people and shit like that and throwing people in loony bins that don't deserve being in it. And so there's this like, fuck, man, like there needs to be a place where these people can go.
Had been arrested 7 times going back to 2008. He, 4 years ago, convicted of a similar attack, and he only got probation. He stabbed a guy in the neck in New Jersey. This guy's homeless. He's 51 years old. Why is this happening? Who do you blame?
I got to blame the administration.
Make them truly great again. Texas Gidget.
Starting with Madami and Bragg. I just saw an interview with Bragg, and he said that you know, this guy doesn't have an arrest record in New York, so that's why he's out on the street. But who cares if he stabbed someone in New Jersey? Why isn't this guy under arrest?
6 of them.
So I don't understand.
It's because of the mental claim, and they are going to give it to him. I mean, he is definitely, probably, absolutely insane. You know, obviously he's insane. You know, but what do you do with them? You know, and some people would argue, well, just throw them in prison. You know, and it's like, well, is that truly the better option than sending them somewhere that could actually facilitate them to like become better? But those systems have all been exploited and have been let down, and that's why we don't have them anymore, you know. And so it's unfortunate. It's either you just throw them back into the fucking environment of people. It's like, oh my God.
6 of those arrests over the last few years have been in New Jersey.
Our current system right now is not working. Obviously, I just explained it.
Last one in New York. So this guy does not belong on the streets, but this is what we're dealing with in New York. People are scared to even take a train, take the subway.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I was talking about earlier today, is when you make fear in people about something. That's why the Department of Transportation does a very good job of, you know, hey, if someone does like a terroristic threat, like stabbing people in necks and shit like this, whatever, they're charged an extra charge for doing that. No matter what it is, they penalize you fullest to the extent of the law, because you are making people think, oh, every time I get on public transportation, I risk being stabbed in the fucking neck, you know? And so it creates this fear. And that's what I was kind of getting at.
We'll say that the Amtrak police were the ones who went and got him and arrested him when we saw that video.
Hey, you be safe out there, Steve Posey. We always appreciate you.
Thank you so much. What do you hope happens?
I hope that there's some kind of change. There's got to be more law and order in the city. I don't know why they keep on voting for these Democrats that are so against law and order and they're anti-American. It's horrible.
Oh, and they definitely are anti-American, 100%.
Well, Henry, I'm glad you're alive. If that had been a little deeper, it could be a lot different. So.
I know. I feel very lucky.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so that's crazy. I'm glad that he actually is alive and still well. Obviously, he's still alive, which is good, obviously. So anyways, listen, I can't thank each and every single one of you guys enough for the love, support, all of your guys' engagement. Very much appreciate that. I think I have the raid set up for you guys to go to Chatting with Stacks. I may have not set up the other side. I can't remember what I did. But anyways, I can't thank you guys enough. We'll see you guys here tomorrow morning for more of the World's Madness as we continue down this truth-seeking adventure as we always go down. So anyways, we'll be back and at it. Always appreciate you guys. Be safe out there. God bless you guys and be safe. We'll see you. Much love.
From the depths of darkness,